It's the Friday Sessions with Emma and Dom.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new edition of the Friday Sessions, music feature bi-weekly from Cornerstone. My name is Dom, and I'm one of your hosts for this evening. And I'm joined, as always, by my colleague Emma, who is up in that corner up there. Say hello, Emma.
Hello. I'm so happy to be doing the show this evening with you, Dom. I just wish that my Wi-Fi worked in my garden, which it doesn't.
I know the feeling. I mean, I wish I had a garden, so you're doing better than me already.
Well, you know. We love it when you comment. We would like to say that kind people are our kind of people. So we've already got some bottom references in this show. So as long as you don't talk out of your bottom, you get commenting. We love to see what you're saying. By all means, start a whole side conversation. We love that too. And it makes us giggle a little bit. But later on, we have a fabulous headliner who you've seen before with us. He's incredibly talented and will one day, I think, be stolen by Hollywood to be some amazing music writer. That's not the word. Composer. So we've got to make the most of them while we can. We have, of course, got the classic album countdown. But who have we got on first this evening, Dom?
So, kicking us off with tonight's edition of the Friday Sessions, we have a gentleman by the name of Rob Traynor, who has just appeared above me, right about there. And he is a friend of a show and a long-time friend of Cornerstone itself. Always a regular fixture at our open mic nights, and he has an absolute smorgasbord of instruments that he is very, very talented with. However, just for today, he's only going to be bringing us one instrument, which is his lovely guitar, and he's going to sing us a song very almost topical, given the time of year. A song about a family holiday in which one of his family members got drunk and decided to go riding wild horses. And I'm going to let Rob tell you how that ended for him. Take it away, Rob.
Hi, my name's Rob. I'm going to do a little song for you now about childhood vacations. This one's called The Day Uncle Billy Rode Bareback on a Horse. We all went on holiday one week in July. My cousins, my aunties, Uncle Billy and I. We climbed up in the dormobile and all sat in the back, the suitcases carefully strapped up on the roof rack. Away from the city, the dirt and the grime, the promise of sunshine and holiday time. Across the Welsh border, into new lands, to Gronant, to Lacca and Prestatyn Sands. And it's sunshine and calamine and kites in the sky, on a beach with a windbreak and an incoming tide. Salmon paste, sandwiches and ice cream, of course, on the day Uncle Billy rode bareback on a horse. 100 green bottles helped to pass the time, till Cousin Eddie shouted he spotted the coastline. Our small wooden chalet with paraffin lamp, an outside dry toilet in our holiday camp. The chalet stood next to a dry stone wall, and a field full of horses Uncle Billy did call. Why pay for pony rides down along the sea, when it's easy to jump on and ride them for free? And it's sunshine and calamine and kites in the sky, on a beach with a windbreak and an incoming tide. Salmon paste, sandwiches and ice cream, of course, on the day Uncle Billy rode bareback on a horse. Balanced on the wall top, grass in his hand, Uncle Billy coaxed over a wild-looking Mustang. Without a saddle in sight and an absence of tack, Uncle Billy leapt forward and onto its back. The beast shot off like an Aintree racehorse. Uncle Billy clung on, using all of his force. It bucked and it twisted and twirled round and round, and threw Uncle Billy down to the ground. And it's sunshine and calamine and kites in the sky, on a beach with a windbreak and an incoming tide. Salmon paste, sandwiches and ice cream, of course, and the day Uncle Billy rode bareback on a horse. We stared in amazement at this unfolding farce, as the horse lined up and kicked Billy in the arse. Once safely back over the dry stone wall, Uncle Billy dropped his trousers in front of us all. And there on his left cheek, clearly defined, the shape of a horseshoe left on his behind. We all fell about laughing while Billy limped away, saying that's enough horse riding, at least for today. And it's sunshine and calamine and kites in the sky, on a beach with a windbreak and an incoming tide. Salmon paste, sandwiches and ice cream, of course, and the day Uncle Billy rode bareback on a horse. And it's sunshine and calamine, kites in the sky, on the beach with a windbreak and an incoming tide. Salmon paste, sandwiches and ice cream, of course, and the day Uncle Billy rode bareback on a horse. And that's a true story. Thank you.
And welcome back there, folks. Thank you so much, Rob, for kicking us off on this very, very warm, summery Friday evening. Certainly captured the holiday spirit, which is I thought was lovely. I tell you what, I could certainly go for being down by the seaside right about now. I can take or leave being bucked by a horse, but sounds like a wonderful time nonetheless. Emma,
I'll let you build the big hole to fill up with water to sit in, and then you can turn it into a car on the outside. I'm sure you'd love that. I am ready. I've got my hanky on my head, you know, like people used to wear. It's just I've got quite a posh hanky. The thing that I wanted to know though is, you know like a centaur is half man half horse. What would you call it then if you had a horse with a bear's back on it?
See, when we talk about a horse being bareback, Emma, what we mean is that it has no saddle, tack or harness. It does not have the back of a bear, sadly not as literal as that. But I'm sure along the lines of a centaur, there probably is a mythical creature out there that is half man, half bear. I, for one, would love to know if there is. If you're watching this and you know of one, let us know in the comments, and I'll do some reading. Always keen to find out about brand new mythological things. But moving on from Rob and continuing our theme of very talented Liverpudlians, we've got Richard here with the classic album countdown, and if I hadn't already given it away with what I just said, Richard today is going to be talking about that lovable foursome from Merseyside. He is of course talking about the Beatles and their album Please Please Me. Take it away, Richard.
Thanks, Dom and Emma, for another fantastic episode so far, as always, of the Friday sessions. Right, this week's classic album was between the Rolling Stones' Sticky Fingers and Please Please Me by the Beatles. I can tell you now, don't tell me to zip it, this week's winner was the Beatles. Please Please Me. Woo!
5.
Okay, released on the 22nd of March 1963, this album Please Please Me was a rushed release due to the mad success of the track Please Please Me. It was their second track after Love Me Do, but it was their first number one, the track Please Please Me. Not necessarily a classic album, but it is a historic album. After all, up until this was released, every number one album had been an easy listening album or a soundtrack. This was the first #1 album to stay consecutively in the album charts for over a year, only to be followed by their second album with the Beatles.
4.
In September 1962, drummer Andy White got a phone call from George Martin to come and record drums on the track Love Me Do, the first single. There'd already been a recording with Pete Best, the drummer, and a second recording with Ringo Starr. But George Martin wasn't happy with them, so he got Andy White in, who actually plays drums on the recording of Love Me Do. Incidentally, Ringo Starr was allowed to play tambourine, so you can still hear Ringo play tambourine.
3.
They recorded Please Please Me in one day, in 3 sessions. They got paid £7.50 per session, which is, in today's money, about £150. George Martin recorded it originally in mono, but he did do a stereo version 6 months later, so you've got the instruments coming out of one speaker and the vocals coming out of another speaker, which is quite handy, because if you don't want to hear Ringo Starr playing tambourine on Love Me Do, you can put that speaker in the cupboard.
2.
Producer George Martin was an honorary fellow at London Zoo. He wanted to take the album cover photograph outside the insect house. He was refused. So he rushed them down to EMI headquarters, where he got them to lean over the balcony, and they rushed this album cover through, this iconic album cover, Please Please Me. Incidentally, he also wanted to call the album Off the Beatle Track, and again he was refused. That reminds me though, when people come down to our pop-up shop at Cornerstone, they often say to me, Richard, I got some Beatles in the loft, and all I do, and if you've got any Beatles in your loft, let me know, I'll give you the number for pest control.
1.
And finally, as I said earlier, it was a bit of a rush release, this album. George Martin asked the Beatles how many tracks they had. They literally only had the 14 tracks to record, and he did want to record it live in the Cavern in Liverpool, but he didn't think the acoustics would be good enough, so he took him into the studio to record it. John Lennon actually had a cold on the day, and he was on throat lozenges, and they deliberately left the track Twist and Shout as the last recording of the day. They tried to do a second take, but he totally lost his voice, so they had to go with a first take, as he had to scream those vocals of Twist and Shout. Anyway, Please Please Me is a great album. Take it out the cover, put it on the record player, and listen to it from beginning to end. It's a great album, and it's not very long. Now, back to Dom and Emma in the studios.
And welcome back there, folks. Thank you so much, Richard. That was a really interesting set of facts this week. I do have to comment on something very, very quickly. Toward the very end of Richard's clip there, some of you may have heard a slight crash or a slight noise. I'd just like to take this moment just to reassure everybody that no vinyl was harmed in the making of this podcast.
Where he flips his records over and you've got to listen to it from the beginning to the end, I tried that this week with a CD, and I turned it over once I'd listened to one side, and I didn't really get much on the other side.
I mean, an attempt was made, I suppose. An attempt was made.
Oh, I know where you live. I'm coming to get you. And I do think he was very mean about Ringo Starr, especially as Golden Wonder, years later, named a whole range of crisps after him. That's a bit of an old joke for those of you who are, older than Dom, my age upwards. But anyway, moving on from the silliness to a fabulous musician who we are adoring all the time, and he's developing more and more, or certainly we see more and more of him. He is such a talent. As I say, if he doesn't get snapped up, I'll be really surprised. you'll notice when you hear him that he's playing different layers of track. So, there's backing track running along behind him. So he has composed that, he has played that and then recorded it to layer his own track. He's like the most amazing one-man band you've ever seen, don't you think, Dom?
I do think so, Emma. And as we've been very, very cryptic there, the gentleman that you're about to see perform is a cracking musician by the name of Richard Marshall. There he is, up above me right there. And as Emma mentioned, he's been a friend of the show again for some time, and we're really enjoying a lot of the music he's putting out. And so for a rather chilled out end to this week's Friday sessions, here is 3 songs from Richard Marshall.
Good evening, Cornerstone. My name is Richard Marshall, and I'm going to play some songs for you tonight. This first one is a song I've just written, and this is called NDA.
In your hand, he'll attack to the back. No one talks 'cause nobody can. Well, the face, rig the race, find the workers and watch them fall. Write the rules, they're the fools. You're the undisputed king. But your time is burning away like the dollar bill in your hand. Shut the people down for today. Tell the kids something they'll understand. Sign an NDA. Remind them that you are the king. An NDA. Nobody knows a thing. You don't work for them, they work for you. Do as they say, but not as they do. Say the right thing, 'cause no one has to know. Say the wrong thing, and all your freedom goes. But your time is burning away like the dollar bill in your hand. Shut the people down for today. Tell the kids something they'll understand. Sign an NDA. Remind them that you are the king. NDA. Nobody knows a thing. Time is burning away. People down for today.
Thank you very much. That was NDA. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my set on Cornerstone Live. It's a real privilege to be here. I love playing for Cornerstone, and I think it's an amazing place, and they do so many amazing things. About me, my name's Richard Marshall. I'm a session musician, songwriter. do a little bit of everything. And I really got into songwriting through going to the Cornerstone open mic sessions. So I'm really, really happy that they've asked me to play some songs for you guys. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And this next song is called Canopy, and it's about the little birds that appear in my garden every now and again.
Little birds so afraid, hiding from the open air, hiding deep in your nest, afraid to go anywhere. Oh, 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 oh. Little bird, don't you fear, the eagles can't hurt you now. Now it's your time to rise, and deep inside you know how. See the sky looks so clear, you have nothing to fear. Oh. Little bird, spread your wings, fly above the trees. Come on out of the dark, break out of the canopy. Flying starts with a leap. Give yourself to air and believe. Oh, oh, oh. Lonely, hiding, scared to be lost, slowly rising through the treetops. Time for flying. This is your day. Freedom gliding now and always. There's a world out there and it's real. You're only as flightless as you feel.
Time for the last song. This last one is called Pismo, and it's about one of my favorite places in the world, and just getting some sea air and clearing your head. So, time for a guitar change. There we go. Right, this last song is called Pismo. I've been Richard Marshall. Take care, have a nice weekend, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Feeling down, got my head up the clouds, because what goes up tends to come back around. So I took a drive to a seaside town to get this feeling out. Ocean wind makes me human again, like the gentlest hand to soothe the burning under my skin. Glistening tide waves the sunset in. You know reality bites, but it doesn't hang on. You're just looking for the scars after they're gone. They're gone. It's you that's hanging on. Because sometimes the buildings turn to ruins, and you wonder how it came to this. Because sometimes looking for tomorrow is the only way to realize there's more to life than the punch that hits you between the eyes. And the mansions on the hill up high are cardboard underneath. You know you're more than the things you've lost right now, 'cause if you fall in the west, then you rise in the east somehow. You may not know now, they'll never shut us down. Never shut us down. Because sometimes your buildings turn to ruins, and you wonder how it came to this. Because sometimes looking for tomorrow is the only way to find yourself. Within yourself, you're trapped in yourself, but the tide will set you free. As the sunset warms your weary soul, your waves coming in, your waves coming in, waves coming in. I know it's coming in, because sometimes your buildings turn to ruins, and you wonder how it came to this. Because sometimes looking for tomorrow is the only view there is. Because sometimes looking for tomorrow is the only view there is.
I've been Richard Marshall. Thank you very much. Good night.
And welcome back to the show there, folks. Oh, thank you so much, Richard, for a brilliant set to finish off this edition of the Friday Sessions. Some really chilled out vibes coming from that. I had a great time listening to it. And I just want to take a moment to say must confess, I'm a little bit touched by what Richard said about us in between his first and second tracks. I before watching that set, I didn't know that Richard was inspired to start songwriting because of our open mics, and so hearing something like that is it's really validating for what we're trying to do at Cornerstone. I think you'd agree, Emma.
Absolutely. That is such an amazing thing to hear. Thank you so much, Richard. We didn't tell him to say it, by the way. And,
Your check's in the post.
And it and it totally makes us feel really good about the pandemic having driven a variation of open mic online to create the Friday sessions. So thank you so much for being a part of that too. I was a little bit inspired. So Pismo, the title of the last song relates to a beach in California, great sunsets apparently, but also clams. So I thought, oh, clams. Maybe I'll have some for my dinner. And then I was thinking about the middle song, which is Canopy. So I'm going to have clams and peas for my dinner. Please forgive me for my bad jokes. To be considered to come onto the show, you don't have to be a professional musician. You can just be somebody who just plays your guitar in the spare room, or plays your, I can't think of anything, maracas in the garage. We'd still be interested in hearing from you. We love music, all music. So you would just need to get in touch, and you can ask us questions too. You don't have to commit to anything straight away. Don't worry, I'm not scary. To be considered, you just need to email us on the address below, cornerstoneopenmic@southoxen.gov.uk, and Dom or I will answer you. It's that high tech and operation we're running here. Dom, I hear you've got some news about the next show.
I have got something of a little bit of news. So for the next show, we're doing something a tiny bit different to what we're used to, because I will actually be in a field having a sort of socially distanced fake festival with some friends that weekend, in lieu of an actual festival. So what we are doing, the Friday sessions will be running as normal. However, the show will be pre-recorded. But fret not, because we will resume normal service with the one after that. And also, speaking of the next show, we've got another album vote for you. Now, I must confess, I had a bit of a hand in choosing the options for this time round, so they might be a little bit heavier than perhaps you've been used to so far. But we're continuing the British theme. I've selected two albums from bands that I love that were released in the last 5 years. So not only are they British, they are modern classics as well, but they're fantastic examples of the bands that they come from. So I do hope you'll check out the vote. As always, you can cast your votes down below in the comments on YouTube or on our Facebook poll as well. And that, I believe, brings us to the end of tonight's Friday sessions. Thank you to everybody who's performed. Thank you to Richard, as always, for the Classic Album Countdown. Thank you, I suppose, to Emma. Yeah, thank you to Emma. If you do want to know more about any of the artists that you've seen performing tonight, there is information down below me in the description. And with all that said, I'm just going to roll a quick clip from Richard to tell you what your choices are for the next album vote. But other than that, stay safe, have a great weekend, keep listening to music, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. Good night.
Thanks, Dom and Emma. Right, a bit of heavy rock for you in the next episode of the Friday Sessions. Dom's going to love this. We want you to choose between Iron Maiden, The Book of Souls, or Judas Priest, Firepower. How about that? Vote now.
1, 2, 3.
It's the Friday Sessions with Emma and Dom.